Okay, so welcome for today's episode. We are going to check out the new CYMA CGS, their gas system, their XM177 Cybergun licensed Colt. Me and Jim, back at it, unboxing video, first impressions and such. I got this from Taiwan Gun, which is, despite the name here in Europe, in Poland. We're in Sweden, so that means cheap shipping and no import taxes or costs, which is very nice.
It's a nice company.
Yeah, so we're gonna unbox this and compare it with, we have a real one with us today. Yeah, it's a real one I built out of vintage Colt parts. We're gonna check out how close this replica is externally. I'm gonna be more focused on the externals. I hardly upgrade anything internally with my stuff. I just go for the things that looks good external. But from what I understand, this is based on the Tokyo Marui MWS. So there's a tons of internal parts that you can upgrade this with. So it fits your needs and so on. Yeah, here we have it.
Oh, nice.
Very nice with the markings. Even the upper here is marking stamps. Feels great. Yeah, only two positions on the early ones on the XM177. Later on the modern ones you have several stops, but this is period correct for original. We can show the real one. Same here. 2 stops. Very cool. Yeah, feel it. You have a CYMA PTW custom XM177E1.
Yep, I do.
So you're pretty familiar with this platform as well?
Love it. It's one of my best software guns ever.
Yeah, I think the XM177 is the coolest carbine of all the M16 variants. And what's nice with the E2, the E2 is always my favorite, is that you can mount grenade launchers to it. The E1 is too short, so you can't mount it, something many people often get confused about. So if you want to use a grenade launcher, get the E2 variant. And here we have a speed loader, CGS. I've heard good things about them, so I'm excited to try it out.
And here we have a gas magazine.
Yes, there it is. They look like this when you get them packaged in some thick plastic. CGS M4-M16 20 rounds magazine for TM MWS for airsoft use only. Something I noticed, another cool detail, the mag that came in the box, called AR-15. But something that surprised me, the other ones are not marked. So I think maybe only the mag that comes with the box that's licensed by Cybergun has this. But nice detail. I really like it, even though the other ones are blank. This is nice to take the beauty photos with. So yeah, very impressed with the externals. Here we have a SKS CYMA that some Americans took from their enemies during the Vietnam War and used it for 20 rounds. And the CGS mags fit nicely, so that's a cool feature. And remember, if you're going to buy a CYMA, either SKS or AK, buy this brown one, khaki brown or whatever you want to call it. Do not buy the green ones. The green ones are post-wars, were not used in the Vietnam Wars. Don't waste your money. The price is pretty much the same, so get these tan khaki ones, and it's nice little piece of gear to have. Yeah. Let's get the box out of the way. I think it's to get a cleaning rod.
Nice.
Yes. The fuck out of me. Yeah. Colt licensed by Cybergun. Produced by CYMA. So yeah, here we have it. It's a gas blowback, which means every time you press the trigger, the bolt will cycle back by itself, coming from the gas from this magazine, and pretty good weight in the magazine. Yeah, so something I want to jump into directly is, does real furniture fit, and how close does this look to the real furniture? So that's something I'm gonna jump right into. So let's start with the handguards. I have modified mine with it's called a gangster grip, because short-barreled rifles in the real ones get pretty jumpy compared to a 20-inch barrel on M16A1, for example. So I've chosen a little gangster grip. This is the original Colt handguard. The lower one is actually a reproduction, because I don't want to accidentally crack mine. But this one is the real, and if we take a look on them side by side, they're pretty close. They both have 6 holes. The old ones have 6 holes on the top, and they are glossy deep black. If they have more holes, it's incorrect, and if they're matte, it's incorrect. So I'm pretty surprised they managed to get the finish that spot on. Okay, so let's try the handguards. To remove the handguards, you push the delta ring, and the taper one like this, it's a delta ring, and the taper one is correct for the E2. The E1 had a straight slip ring, just like on the M16A1, for example. That's how I remove it, and even here it looks very realistic. It has the gas tube even, just like the real one. So yeah, I'm very impressed by the details this far, and I'm surprised a company like CYMA, because CYMA has been known for affordable brands and sometimes cut corners and such in terms of details. Might not always be the most realistic ones and such. So I'm pretty impressed by it this far. They have a AEG series. Many of those have imperfections and details that's not there on the real ones, for example. But these gas ones, very spot on. Okay, so let's try original Colt vintage handguard. It fits. And this is how you have it when you mount a grenade launcher, for example. Let's try it with my gangster grip. Yeah. I really like this gangster grip.
Drop-in fit.
Yeah, drop-in fit.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Many airsoft, sometimes you have to file a millimeter or something, so to have it drop-in fit, very nice. But yeah, the gangster grip was mostly used by special units. Was not used by the grunts. The grunts can be seen with the XM177 from time to time, but mostly it was special units who had it. And especially with the gangster grip, it was more special forces, MacVSOG, LERP Rangers and so on that did this little modification. But yeah, pretty cool. It fits so easy. We can take a quick little peek. I know people are gonna ask me, how did you mount it? This is a real pistol grip. So what I did, I sawed off the top of a real pistol grip. You could probably use a gas blowback pistol grip if you have a spare one as well. And in the bottom, it's hard to see now, but there's a bolt going through. And I have a little washer here, and that washer I trimmed it down on the corners so it fits flush, and I just tighten it very hard. You could probably add some notches on the inside so it won't twist, but I haven't had any issues with it. And I've shot mine quite a lot, and it sits there very well. Recoils, handles the recoils very well. So this is how you do it. Okay, so next up is the stock. Something people often do not know. The real one is made out of aluminium. It's not plastic. Plastic came after the Vietnam War. I don't remember which one got the plastic first, but I know the Colt 653, that's the M16A1 carbine, had aluminium stock. I think that was the last model. So models after that one got the plastic stock. But this one is a aluminium one, Colt Vintage Original. The CYMA is plastic, but I think they got the details right. It's a glossy finish. The plastic ones, they have reinforcements here. This is very common on airsoft, but CYMA this time got it right. It looks very good. Some of them, early airsoft ones, have been slanted for some reason, but this, it's spot on. Very, very impressive. So even though it's plastic, it looks correct, which I'm very, very happy for. But let's see, does the original stock fit on the CYMA? So to remove the stock, you take this and you press it all the way down, and then you just remove it. Yeah, very nice. So the buffer is mil-spec. Very cool. So if you want to add a real stock on it, a real aluminum one, it does fit. But this one, it looks the part. But pretty cool. And this sling I'm using, many people who does clone builds on the XM177E2 use the GP strap. It's one of my favorites. It's very nice, it's wide. But I think it's overused by cloners and reenactors. If you watch the photos, many of them use M8 carbine slings, which this one is. I found this when I was in Vietnam. And many also use AK slings, the Chinese AK slings. And the most common way to use it is to just put it here in the top sling loop, not all the way around. It was intended for all the way around, but this is how people ended up carrying it. And people can be sometimes afraid, like, won't it crack and fall off? No, it can carry weight. It's aluminium, it will hold. Even a plastic one will hold, and I'm sure this one will hold up as well. It's not that heavy a rifle. I did, for those of you who follow me for a little while, I did crack mine, but that was because I have too many guns in my real safe, and I crammed my door and it got cracked because I squashed it. But I got some help from Thomas to weld it back together. More on this on my real XM171 M7.
Wow.
But yeah, cool that it fits. And this is how they would normally set up their sling in the front, not in the sling loop. Some even remove the sling loop, but in the front side like this, back, because it's easier to carry this way. Sure, it's somewhat in the way of the sides, but it falls to the side. And from what I understand at McVeestog and such, from what I'd heard, they mostly shot like hip fired in the jungle and such, and it didn't even extend the stock. From what I've heard, so take that as you will. So what more can we check out? We have a real scope. This is a Colt 3X20 scope. This is the original Vietnam era, made in Japan. Many falsely put on the wrong scope, the 4X. The 4X came post-war. During the Vietnam War, it was the 3X. This is a real one, so let's see if it works. There are airsoft replicas of these out there, because the real ones can get pretty expensive. I only got mine for my real M16 and such. It is not that common to have a scope on your XM177, but there are a few pics during the war when people use it. But as it's a short barrel, it was not common to use it. I know many airsofters love to use it, so I'm gonna show you. So yeah, there we have it. Many have asked, isn't the scope too high up when you have a carry handle? But for me, it lines up well, and I've shot this tons with my M16A1 on my real one. It's a pretty cool look.
Yeah, there's no problem at all aligning the eye with the sight.
Yeah.
Nope, that works just fine.
Pretty cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. So another part I want to see if the real one fits is the pistol grip. Does the real one fit? Here's a spare one, also that came out of actual Vietnam, which is pretty cool. I have one, of course, on my real build also. But I want to put this on my CYMA. So Jim, could you get me a flathead screwdriver?
Yeah, I'll get you one.
Okay, so now the screw is out. Interesting. This is slightly different than from a real one. It's similar, but it has a nut placed in between. So interesting way. But let's see if a real pistol grip will fit. It does. Very snug fit. Very nice. And I really like the Bakelite on the old real pistol grips. Very cool look. Mm-hmm. There's another one. They all are very different. This is more subtle. Okay, so let's put the screw in. Wow, my trick is so handy, so easy. Yeah, there is. You need to look at it in the hole. There we have it. Very cool.
Oh, nice.
So the CYMA CGS take real furniture. Very cool. And for those of you who have been following me for a long time, it's what I like to do. I like to add as much real parts as possible on airsoft guns. It's a lot of fun. So yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, just a snug fit too.
Yeah, it
fits perfectly.
Drop-in fit. Mm-hmm. I'm very impressed by it. I feel like externally they've gone the extra mile. They're very, very thorough. It's kind of stiff. You just press it. I think it's because it's new. Yeah. There we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool.
Very nice.
And that it handles just like the real thing. It's something I really appreciate. It's gonna sound cheesy, but if you shoot a lot with real guns and want to play some airsoft, it's nice that you rack it and you handle it just like on a real thing. Mm-hmm. So it's very cool to have one of each to practice with. So yeah, muscle memory is the same when you reload and do all those things. Here's the moderator. A real one has baffles inside. This is cleared. And this is due to legal terms, because if you have baffles in, for example, the land of the free, they call it, but they're not allowed to have baffles in their moderators. Here in Sweden, doesn't matter. I have the real one and baffles on my real one, because we can have silencers. It's no issue. But this one is cleared, and I would presume this is also would work as a loudener, which is pretty cool. Usually it helps when it's shaped like this. But yeah, feels pretty hefty. Do we have a magnet somewhere? Can try it for steel part. Yes. Very impressive. Some will say this is incorrect because it does not have markings. Real ones do not have markings. I know some people have seen online a few with markings and serial numbers. That's the American ones that's been registered as silencers, as it has to do that. But the real military ones, original, should be just like this. And while we're at it, let's see what's more. That's steel front sight. Yeah. Steel outer barrel, nothing. I'd say that's probably cast. Some kind of pot metal, sling swivel, yes. Magnet. The cap, handguard cap, yes. Steel. Receiver. The real receiver is aluminium, so it should not be magnet. And this is, I'd say, some kind of cast pot metal. Bolt catch, steel. Mag catch is hard to reach. Takedown pin front, steel. I get some from the, not sure about this one. Selector, cast, hard to reach. I should have had a better magnet, but all I had is this old CYMA motor. And nothing here too. Charging handle, we have steel in this little part, like on a real thing, otherwise it's aluminium on the real one. Rear sight, steel. The nut, steel. Buffer tube is aluminium on the real one. And yeah, no magnet here. So yeah, a lot of steel parts. Very similar to the real one in cording off steel parts. That's pretty nice. Here's the bolt carrier. Let's do a magnet test on it. Yeah, steel. Very impressive. Very nice. This part is hot steel. Nice with the steel bolt carrier. I know some of the CGS has been with lighter bolts that's not steel. So very cool that these have the steel bolts. Okay, so let's see if the grenade launchers fits. This is a M203, both airsoft, and this is a XM148. This one came first, so let's start with that one. A cool thing about the XM148, it was used, I think, only just a year or something, very short, and it was made in a very short period of time. But it was replaced by the M203 later. I think in 1969, if I got it right, it was replaced. But many SEALs prefer the XM148, so that's why you can see it even in the 70s with them. They prefer this one, and I think it's a little bit cooler looking one. And it's just recently was released and made by VFC, also licensed by Cybergun Colt. So it has the correct markings and such. I think it's super cool. Super fun. I love grenade launchers in general. I used both on my real one. Shoot tagging rounds. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Hey. It bounced back. This trigger was much better. Woo! And if that doesn't work, you can always just shoot at your targets if you don't take their hits. Get some!
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, there it is mounted. Something I have forgot with my grenade launcher. Here, it should be spacers that comes with the launcher. Somehow I removed both when I was testing things on my real one, and I forgot to add them. So it's a little bit wobbly and loose in the front. But if you have them, it should sit flush. And here's with the spacers that comes with the launcher. This is how it should look. Sits flush, sturdy. But yeah, this looks so cool. Very McVie SOG Navy SEAL look with this. Later on they used 30 rounder magazines. They were not that common in the Vietnam War. They came later. So often they had only like one of them and then rest 20 rounds. There's also a photo of Navy SEALs that use a very long extended mag. That's pretty cool. I think I might have a prototype that I've been working on in some of my boxes. I'm gonna see if I can get it. So here it is. It's a prototype. I've traced one of the originals. It's as a dummy. It's solid. Something I've been working on earlier. Maybe I'll do another take on it. But let's see if it fits. Maybe. Yeah. So this is what the SEAL setup would look like. I think they would remove this long one as it snags and only use this little button one.
That looks like a...
It's a very cool setup. This is my favorite setup. I'm having some ideas on how I can make it even on my real one. Because, yeah, how badass doesn't this look?
Looks ridiculous.
Yeah. Longer on the top and short.
Damn it.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool, yeah. It looks like the CYMA mags are pretty easy to disassemble. They have a top area and a lower area that you could remove. So I probably will experiment a bit later. See if I can get this working. It's a very...
Oh, just for
cool
this day, so that you have this?
Yeah,
mounted on this? Alright.
Yeah,
alright.
But maybe use I think they have 30 rounds of this also, and so I can get a little more rounds, because these only carry 20 rounds, just like the real ones. With this one, I think they were like 50 rounders or 60. I heard they weren't that reliable, so it was more a cool guy thing to have in the photos and be badass. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think they're They're so neat.
No, they're ridiculously neat.
Yeah. Okay, I have the M203 also. I think this is the King Arms. GMP also makes a nice one with the markings and such. I've stamped mine with the DOD stamp that we're often stamped with. I make those stamps myself. I trace the original, so you get a very authentic look. You can download them on my Patreon, or you can ask me and I can print them and ship them for a little fee. They're often stamped on the side of the receiver or in the front of the receiver also, so I'm going to update this one later with that. It's a fun little detail. This one I've used on my real M16 one and shot the tag rounds, very fun. But it's a little bit too short in the front, so I put on extensions for it to fit my real one. Not sure if it's gonna be any complications on the airsoft one, but let's uninstall this one and see.
Okay, so much easier
Yeah,
way to attach that.
this is a more superior design in overall. It's easy to use and such. Okay, so go down here. The sling swivel, some punch it out. It sits there with a little spring roll, easy to punch out. But I usually just fold mine up like this. This one is slightly in the way of the grenade ring. I think that might be due to King Arms.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, as it has similar issues with my real one when I shot my M16. So yeah, so I'm not going to be able to put that on. I'm sure I can probably mod it somehow. Because if we put it up here in the front, here in the bottom, it does not.
Yeah, it doesn't lock
on. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you could probably modify this, 3D print some parts, or put a washer. It work, or maybe try with another brand. This is a King Arms launcher, so might be due to that. But yeah, it's cool. XM148 fits. So let's do. I thought we were going to do a little field strip and compare it to the real one, and so show how realistic these gas blowback CGS are. So the handguards, I showed how to remove it, and I showed the stock how to remove it. And to field strip it, we press it here. It is pretty tight. Crack my nails. And here we have the bolt carrier group. And we can take it down in the front. Here we have the lower and the upper. So let's see, can we do the same on the real one? Okay, same here. We press out the takedown pin. Also pretty stiff. Yes, and we take out the bolt carrier group. Here it is. Here we have the charging handle. And the front takedown pin. Pretty stiff. Yeah. They usually are in the beginning. It's good to have them stiff. And yeah lower, upper.
Stiff pin.
And the nice thing about taking off uppers and lowers, if you have more on the same pattern, you can swap uppers and lowers together and make your own customs. There are some pictures of MacVsarg, for example. They have the XM177 uppers with M16A1 or XM16E1 lowers, fixed stock. It's a pretty neat little setup. I tried it on my real one. It's fun to shoot, and it's nicer to shoulder, because a common thing with these, especially if you have a mustache, in Vietnam you wouldn't have this much beard. You would have shave it because you need a gas mask and such. But some had mustaches, and a classic thing, if you have a little longer mustache, or if you do shoot with a beard and not be period correct with your face, and don't have a stronger personality than your beard, it takes your hair and drags it out. It hurts.
I've seen it with both Ludde and some friends of mine where they get the beard stuck and they go on.
When I'm not on reenactment and such, I like to have a beard. But when I'm at events, I shave. But sometimes when I shoot and it starts to rip my hair out, it's time to trim it down a little bit. So yeah, I can get why some of them like the thick stock, so they wouldn't rip their mustache out if they were cool guys like that. But yeah, here's the lower. Just curious if can you put the upper on it? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But you can't in the back.
No.
Kind of too tight. Yeah. Pretty cool.
1 out of 2 pins, not bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's put it back together. And as I said before, the internals are based on the Tokyo Oh, the buffer. The buffer jumped out.
What?
I think I accidentally pushed it here to remove the buffer. But yeah, the internals are Tokyo Marui specs MWS. So if there's something with the internals that you want to change or don't like, having issues and such, I haven't shot this one yet, so I don't know. I've seen mixed results on the performance. I don't know if I have to wear it in or if there's a lemon here and there. But there is a tons of internal upgrades you can do that are on the Tokyo Marui specs, which is very nice. They are known to make the best GBBRs out there and gas pistols and such, but they do not make the vintage Vietnam era M16 AR-15 series. So this is looking very good externally. So I think if you upgrade it with some of those, you're gonna have a really nice airsoft. I'm gonna try mine later. I hardly upgrade mine. I run my things until something doesn't work and then I potentially upgrade it. So yeah, I'm gonna try it later this summer. Here's a real charging handle. I want to see if it fits. It does not. No. It's the wings on the side, a real one. The airsoft one does not have. If you take a real one and grind them off, I'm sure you could get that to work. Yeah, it feels weird. As I said, I work as a gunsmith, and yeah, I take down AR-15s all day almost, so it feels weird that it doesn't stick. But I'm sure that's something to work with the airsoft internals somehow. Just gonna put this back here. There we have it. Yeah, so takedown, very much like the real thing, very cool. You have the bolt carrier going into the buffer tube with the buffer and spring. So yeah, let's take a little look on the details and markings compared to the real one. So here we have them side by side. Mine is, the lower has been used, it's from Vietnam. The upper is, I don't know, from another South Asian contract later produced. So the upper is slightly darker, lower slightly brighter. On the early productions they were light gray, and with wear of course it would be lighter also. But the later productions were darker, and the upper is very close to the color on the CGS, so that's nice. It's gray, it's not black. This one is black. I would like to have this in the same color. So that's a minus. Overall, very happy with it. All the details, the colors, spot on, very nice. But yeah, this one I would like to have a dark gray. I'm probably gonna sand it down and spray paint it with barbecue grill spray paint and put it in the oven. There are gray ones out there. I've actually done it with this one because, believe it or not, even though it's all vintage Colt original for most parts, this one is a Brownells one, and this one had a color I did not like. So this is spray painted with a barbecue grill spray paint and put in the oven, and it's very nice color. And we do the same on this one to upgrade it. But yeah, let's take a look on the markings. Colt AR-15. Colt AR-15, these are roll marks, so they are not that sharp in the middle, sharper here and here, because they roll them. This is all sharp, but yeah, it's Colt AR-15, so very well done. Property, US government. Property, US government. This one is M16A1, because this came from M16A1. Finding a real XM177 lower is near to impossible, but I'm very happy I have one that came from Vietnam, used in the actual war. So this one has XM177E2, which is correct, so very nice. Colt patent firearms, MFG. Colt Firearms Division, slightly different, might be do different years, but you have Colt Industries, Hartford, Connecticut. So yeah, very nice markings. Yeah, very impressed. So let's swap it out. This is a detail many airsoft manufacturers miss, the proof marks on the upper. Let's check it out. Here it is. So yeah, very impressed they went that far to have the proof marks on the upper that many airsoft companies miss. So very impressed. Here, no markings, and some of you might be sad about this because look here, CH. But this is actually correct. The Vietnam era ones should be blank. This one came in the 70s because this is a later production upper. So this is correct. So yeah, very impressed. And it should be smooth, which it is here. Mine is also smooth. Some of them has flash forging marks, but yeah, that is correct. This one should be smooth, which is. Mine is also smooth. So yeah, very impressed with the details. As I said before, the CYMA AEGs, many errors, but this one, very good job. Even here, it's the A1 pattern. It does not have full reinforcement. The M4 is full reinforced here. This has this little cut here, which is very nice that they got it right. Externally, very impressed. Very impressed.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm surprised. Pleasantly surprised, actually. It looks very, very nice. I mean, CYMA makes good stuff.
Yeah, now they do. Before, my thought about CYMA, it was that they were not that accurate looking guns for enactment and such, but now they have really stepped up their game, so I'm very impressed. And they have plenty of models. They have like any model that came out of the Cold War with these. They have tons of variants, so any niche, obscure, old AR-15 variant they have produced, which is pretty cool. But this was my favorite, so very cool to have the real one and the airsoft one. Yeah, dust cover. And the dust cover is also correct.
Yep.
Same as the real one.
Yep.
This early type. And it has the full fence, which it should, full fence. The early one, the XM16E1, for example.
Yeah, that's
had
this one.
Yeah, was partial fenced. And some even earlier were slabbed, but this is the correct one. So XM77E1 was partial fenced like this, but the E2 like this, tapered, longer barrel, and vinyl coated stock. The XM77E1 was anodized stock, similar to a receiver. Little detail not many know. Most of them think everyone was aluminum vinyl coated, but the E1 was aluminum but anodized. Okay, so I don't have an indoor range to see how far it shoots and how hard it shoots and such, but we're gonna load up a mag and just see how does it feel, how does it sound, how does it operate and work. Okay, so let's open up a mag. Here's what they look like when they come. BB's here. Technology.
Technology.
Like this, I think. Yes, it's loading. And it's only 20 rounds.
Maybe you'll need some practice with that.
I think so. I think that's 20 rounds.
There's always a first for everything.
Yeah. And then we load it up with some gas. And I heard you shouldn't shake this. Many people do, but I heard it's better if you don't shake it.
Here it is. It's not leaking.
Not leaking. Good. Let's load it up and test it.
Oh, that's a fun sound.
It's a pretty fun little kick. Yeah, even locks the bolt back, like on the real thing. It's kind of letting some of the BBs fall out, I think. I've seen some reviews that you need to adjust the hop-up unit. I think that's the case here. After some of them dips out, so I'm gonna adjust it some. But yeah, the kick is very fun. Jim, you want to try it?
Yeah. I have goggles for science.
Yeah, the good-looking ones. We forgot our regular glasses at home. Yes.
Oh, that's a nice kick. Feels awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty loud standing in front of it.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I'm gonna adjust the hop-up unit some because I can see some BBs rolling out of the barrel. But it's a common thing with these I've seen when you get them.
Yeah, but this was fun.
Yeah.
For an airsoft, it was actually fun.
Yeah. Okay, so to adjust the hop-up unit, you pull it back and take the bolt hold open. And if we see here, not sure if you can see it, but here is a little screw, and you need to tighten this. See if I can get there. That looks to be max. So yeah, I just did a quick test. I'm gonna take more time later doing this. But this is a common thing. You need to tighten it slightly, otherwise BBs will roll out of the barrel, as you might see previously. But yeah, let's do a new test with that. Okay, let's see.
Wiggle it.
Seems okay. Let's try it. Nice. Jam. Yeah, seem to be holding the BBs, which is locks the bolt open, nice. Some of the jams, I'm unsure what it is, if it needs to be worn in or if it's something else. Let's try another mag. But yeah, the kick is very fun and it's pretty loud.
Yeah, I'm standing in front of the
muzzle.
The muzzle to the side, and it's loud.
It's what I suspected with the big moderator when it's open like that. It's a pretty cool feature with the airsoft because all of them are so silent compared to a real one. So I like when they get loud. Yeah, holds open. Looks like the problem was fixed. Very fun. I wanna dump a last magazine, but yeah, I can't wait to get out and try this in the field.
Try to full auto. See how it goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try the full auto. Many of the gas guns they don't like full auto. After a while, you can get some burst out of it, but if you just dump it, it will get slowed down. It's cold. It's the mechanism. But let's try it. I don't have any high hopes because they usually aren't that good on full auto. Let's try it. Oh, pretty snappy. There you can hear it slows down. It's getting colder. Yeah, and there it gets too cold and just starts to not cycle properly. So here in Sweden we use semi, but yeah, the full auto could have been better, absolutely. Ah, looks like, yeah, too little gas.
Or maybe it just dumps way too much gas on full auto.
Probably. I'm not sure how these mags are. They are based on the Tokyo Marui ones, but yeah, maybe hard to reproduce the technology fully with the mags. I've heard some that used Marui mags and this that didn't work, but with some modifications got it running and such. But yeah, I'm not sure I think these are the only 20 rounds available for the MWS systems. But on semi-auto, they seem to be working pretty well. Some hiccups, but I think that should be maybe just to wear it in a little bit. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with it externally. Very well done for reenactment and such, and accurate. Very nice. Internally, maybe over time to swap some parts for the Tokyo Marine ones. But I will give this a little spin this summer and try it and see how it holds up in the field. I'm gonna run a little GoPro and do some footage. But yeah, neat little toy. I think these runs about, I think maybe 580 euros or something. For me, that's cheap compared to the Vipertech. That's how much was your Vipertech?
$1,200.
$1,200. Yeah, that's quite a lot. So for me, this is more budget friendly. There's always that little fight between costs of airsoft in parts. That's easy to produce for a fair amount of money and not be too expensive. And yeah, I think this is a little bit in the between. With some upgrades, I think this is gonna be a neat little toy. But yeah, I really like it. It's a lot of fun, even though it had a few hiccups. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm shooting a lot of real guns, vintage guns. I have my Patreon. You can download 40mm dummy grenades, stamps, DoD stamps to stamp your receiver and such. But yeah, until next time.
Great fun.
Great
for
fun.
all the family members.
Yes.